Welcome to Excel course by Besant Technologies. In this video, you learn everything from basics to advanced features, including formulas, functions, charts, pivot tables, data analysis, dashboards. Whether you are a student, job seeker, working professionals, or business owner, this course will help you to improve your productivity and make smarter divine decisions. What is an Excel? Microsoft Excel is a powerful spreadsheet software that helps you to organize data, perform calculations, data informations, and create professional reports and dashboards. It is widely used by educational institutions, business, and organizations across the world for data management and decision making. Start your Excel journey with Besant Technologies. Let's get started.
Hello all, very good morning. Welcome to the next module of our Excel course, which is all about text functions. As you can see onto my screen, I have just mentioned the functions that Excel functions as in Excel built-in functions, which are going to be applicable only on the text values. So let's see one by one. I've got a an employee data set, which has almost around 50 records are there in here. We have our employee ID, their name, full name, department code. You can see here it's a combination of like your HR and the, uh, I mean, yeah. In fact, the employee ID you can see here, it starts with the prefix EMP. My full name, you can see many of them are in full all caps or maybe all small, some extra unnecessary spaces or irrelevant spaces towards the beginning of my name. Those are called your leading and trailing spaces, which we need to get rid of them. Okay, and we have our phone numbers, then email ID. Email ID also has got many of them as full capital, or some of them are a combination of all, like a small and capital no. Then you have your date joined. It's given in your year, month, and date. We can format this. Then you have your location of the employee. Yeah. So this is almost around 7 columns are given to us. So we are going to see all of these functions. I'm going to talk about each of these functions, and each of these functions, we are going to use them to clean this data. As you all can see, the relevant data I can bring up. How am I going to see? Let's go on one by one. Okay, first and foremost, I can see here the name over here. When it says Sarah Corner, I can see a space. There's an initial one space or a two space over here. Yeah, almost two spaces are there, which I don't want. It's an irrelevant one. This data needs cleaning. Unless and until the data is cleaned and we can really remove that irrelevant space, we are going to get better results. As in, uncleaned data is going to give you erroneous results. So it becomes very necessary, as in, even before beginning the work of analysis or maybe working on any requirement, so it becomes very necessary for us to clean the data. So, and in order to remove the unnecessary spaces, as in the leading and trailing spaces, leading space is the space before the start of a string, and the trailing spaces is after the end of a string. But here I'm seeing it's in front, as in before the string, for the start of a string. We cannot make out how many of them have got once the string is over, the string is end is coming up. We don't know how many of it have got. Okay, here I'm not seeing. But in real time, it's going to be it's going to be an impossible task to really locate which names or which strings have got those unnecessary spaces, as in your leading and trailing. Now, the built-in function which is available for us to remove this leading and trailing spaces is nothing but trim function. And as I have mentioned earlier also, we are going to start with the equal to symbol. Only then Excel is going to understand what follows the equal to symbol is some sort of calculation that it needs to perform. I'm going to show you trim. See, remove all spaces from a text string except for single spaces between words. Anyway, I'll show you the effects as in the function arguments dialog box. Removes all spaces from a text string except for the single spaces between words. As we have just seen, first name is Sarah, then you have a space, and then you have your surname, corner. So the in-between space between Sarah and corner, that will remain untouched. Only the leading and trailing spaces are going to get removed. So let me pass in, there's only one argument, which is nothing but the text from where we want, from whichever text we want to get the leading and trailing spaces removed. That's what I'm going to pass in. As you all can see, it has got it has got the leading spaces as well as trailing, but my result is the one where the leading and trailing spaces have got removed. We can see that. Yeah. So we have got it removed. So the first name has just now been corrected. When we come to the end of the selected cell, you can see that bold plus sign. Is that auto fill? Just double click or even drag it. Like click and drag, pull and drag. It's just going to, what is going to happen? The function that we have entered onto the first cell gets copied onto each and every subsequent cells. So here we can see all of the names, the irrelevant space as in the leading and trailing has got removed. But then still, I won't say it's a complete one. It's a clean name because we do have few of the names have got all the letters in small and few of them have got all the letters in capital. So we need to correct them. We need to have each of the words, the first letter in capital and rest all in small. How to do that? I can just use my function called proper. Now, proper function is to capitalize each word, as in make the first letter or the first alphabet in capital, rest all small. And here text is the trimmed text that we are really passing. That's how I'm going to get it. So if I open the function dialog box, see, converts a text string to proper case. The first letter in each word to uppercase and all other letters to lowercase. And what is this argument text? It's a text enclosed in quotation marks, or it could be a formula that returns text, or a reference to a cell containing text to partially capitalize. It's not that entire capitalization that's happening, it's a partial one, as in just the first letter of each word is going to be now in uppercase and rest all in the lowercase. So that's your proper function. So in order to clean the full name, we have used your trim as well as proper. So now if I go to that autofill handle, if I double click, each and every name is now going to have the unnecessary spaces that are leading and trailing got it removed, as well as we have made the first letter of each word to a capital, retaining the rest in small. That's the first one. Okay, what about we have seen your trim over here, proper, yes. So in case if we want to use the upper and lower, how am I going to do? Say instead of your proper, I could just use my upper function, which is just going to convert each and every letter of the text string to uppercase. See, converts the text string to all uppercases. I'm going to get it like this. Converts a text string to all uppercase letters. I could try this, or if I want all of them to be lower, so my function built-in function is going to be lower, which is just going to convert all of the letters in the text string to a lower case. We can see that. Okay, so far we have seen your trim and then your upper, lower, proper. Let's move on. What's the next question that we can really do that? Okay, we have our employee number. Okay. If at all, from here we have got the raw ID, like we have a prefix EMP, and then you have a hyphen, and then only the four alphabets of my ID, employee ID. How to extract this employee, the four numbers alone, how to extract it? I can use an option called write. There's a built-in function for us called write, which here it's a good factor that we have like exactly four numbers towards the end. We have got those as numbers. As in the pattern for each of the employee ID is the same. Like first three is your EMP, then you have a hyphen and then four numbers. Since the format is the same for each and every value, we can use the write function. And how am I going to use a write function? Now, write function is to, from the end of a string, as in from the last letter of the string, I can extract specified number of characters. See, it returns a specified number of characters from the end of a text string. Returns a specified number of characters from the end of a text string. Again, two arguments. First is the text from where that extraction is going to happen, and then the number of chars, as in how many number of characters we want to extract. So my text is actually going to be the raw ID, employee ID, and I want to extract four numbers, like four characters from the end of a string. You can see it has extracted just that number. Of course, I wouldn't suggest a manual entry. There is an option for us wherein we can substitute a function in place of the number 4. The function is supposed to calculate that value 4. Now we'll come across it in a few minutes. We have a function called find. I can utilize that. I'll show you in some time, and then I'll come back here how to substitute that 4 to like how to substitute the 4 with that find function, how to do that. But this is pretty simple. Write function is just going to return specified number of characters from the end of a text string. Yeah. So we have successfully extracted the numbers from the employee ID. Moving on. What about my department code? I've got my department code over here, but I just want to extract that exactly the ones which says as HR, FIN, that is financial or IT, marketing, and so on, or maybe the operations. How could I do that? But then all of the your HR code is not of the same size. HR is 2, IT is 2, but FIN is 3. Your marketing is MKR, right? So MKT. So few of them are of 2, few of them are of 3. So the pattern is the same, but the number of characters that we want to extract, that length is not the same. How can we do this now? Now, I will suggest you one easiest way. Let me go in for left function only, definitely, but I'll do something over here. Let me find the position of this hyphen, and 1 minus that position of hyphen is going to be the size of my department code. So let's just see that. First, let's see how that find function works, and then how I could substitute it, or how I could just combine it with left function. Equal to find. Find returns the starting position of one text string within another text string, and find is case sensitive. I'll open up a function dialog box for easier navigation help. Okay. Find text. What am I to find? I want to find that hyphen over there. And within text, my C5, that's the reference where, cell reference where my text is available. And starting num. Starting num is the position from where we want to start the search. Basically, we are going to search the hyphen in the text available in C file, and it's going to return me the position. And by default, this starting number, as in starting position, should be your first letter. Now, starting position is a optional argument. If you are not going to mention, like when I see in every built-in function, we will have a set of mandatory arguments and a set of optional arguments. Mandatory are the ones which we have to mention, but the ones which are optional, we do have the choice of either mentioning it, which becomes very necessary in some specific cases. But in general, we can omit those optional arguments. And if we are omitting the optional arguments, like we are choosing the option of not mentioning them, we do what Excel does in return is it's just going to pick up the, or it's just going to assume the default value of the optional arguments. Each and every optional argument has got its own default value. Now here it's a the default value for starting num is 1, as in it's the start is the search is about to start from the first letter or character, or more precise, first position. Specifies the number of characters, specifies the character at which to start the search. The first character in within text is character number 1. That is over here H. If omitted. If omitted means it's an optional one. Starting number is 1. So as of now, I'm not mentioning it. So it's just going to return me value 3, as in hyphen is available at position 3. If I copy the same function over that entire column, I am going to get the position of hyphen in each of the value in the department ID or the department code. Once we have achieved that, once we have gotten the position of our hyphen, next job is to extract the number of characters to the previous position. Anyway, I'll tell you what needs to be done. Let me write it and then explain. I'm going to now use my left function. Left function, see, returns the specified number of characters from the start of a text string. So ideally, it should be, say, let me for some time, I'll remove this. What will be my text is C5, which is our HR-001, and number of characters is 2. As in from from the starting position, I want to extract 2 characters. This is what left function is all about. Extracts or returns a specified number of characters. I want to return 2 characters from the start of a text string. So HR-001, I'm just extracting first 2 characters and it returns me HR. But the number of characters providing a manual entry is definitely not a good way of writing our functions, because it may happen. I mean, here you have got just 50 names and 50 HR codes or 50 values from where I want to extract the HR code. But even here also, I am very much seeing that the hyphen is not appearing at the same position. For few of the values, it's appearing at the third. For few of them, it's appearing at the fourth. So in case if I have got a million names from where I have to extract the number of, like, just this HR, the first 2 letters or first 3 letters, it's not manually feasible to really find out the exact position of hyphen and then get the job doing. It's not going to be easier. So how, instead of that manual entry 2, I am now going to really incorporate my find function, which we have just seen a while ago, but -1. How? Because my hyphen in HR-001, hyphen was appearing at the third position. So, but then my HR is just 2 positions. H and R, as in 2 characters. So third position is my hyphen. 3 minus 1 is the length of the HR code. So if I do this, I'm going to get it. I need not even going for the manual entry. If even if there are changes to the words or even some more names are being incorporated to the sheet, this function is going to work very fine because no manual entry, nothing. Just everything works so fine. So this is how we can combine your left and find. But then same way, I could do it for my right function. Here, if you remember, it was after the hyphen, the four characters or four numbers are what we are supposed to extract. Now here, the position of hyphen in each and every employee ID as in raw ID is at the fourth position. And my employee ID, the numbers are starting from the fifth position. So how can I do over here is, okay, instead of that 4, I will now find my hyphen within my A5, and starting num is going to be the first letter. So the last argument start num I'm not mentioning, but then this is going to return me value 4. Okay, right function, it is going to return me from the 4 characters. 1 second. Yeah, maybe I just forgot the, parenthesis. So this find function is going to return me the value 4 as in position of my hyphen in A5 is 4, and that has just coincided with the number of characters. Had the number of characters been more and all, I would have to add it. And here, luckily, the number of characters is exactly the same. If the number of characters had been a different way, like it's not matching means we would have to do certain arrangements for the same. Okay, so this how instead of input going a manual entry, I can incorporate a function that is going to calculate that numbers as in the number of characters to be extracted. It's just the same. So instead of the manual entry, things are working fine. Now, this is just one way of doing it, like using my right function. You have seen left, which extracts characters, a specified number of characters from the start of a string. Right function extracts the specified number of characters from the end of a string. What about there should be a function which even provides us, maybe I don't want to extract maybe from the start or end, I want to extract somewhere from the middle. How would I do that? For the same extraction, I can use another function called mid. Let me show you that as well. Okay, I'll go with mid. Mid has got 3 arguments, all 3 are mandatory. You can see here, I'll open the function dialog box. First is the text, as in from where you want to extract. I know it's your A5, so I'm just that, I've just mentioned the same. Starting number, as in from which position you want to start the search. Okay, I have to start the search after the hyphen. Hyphen is appearing at the 4th position, which we can find out using the find function 4 plus 1. So find, okay, I'll come here and start my parenthesis. Now it shows me find. Find is over here, it's going to be the hyphen within A5. Starting num is just going to be left as is, as in it will start from that EMP, okay, E, from that letter it's going to start, and we are getting the value as 4. Okay, yeah, the formula is not, the function is not yet done. So this is going to return me value 4, but my numbers are starting from the 5th position, so plus 1. So now from the text A5, starting num is actually 5. And now how many characters do I want to extract? Now here I am not going to mention the exact number of characters. Instead, I can do it in one simplest way is just mention 100. As in, from the 5th position till the end of a string, how many ever characters? That's what 100 means over here. It need not be 100, you can just keep 20 also. That will work fine. But to be on a safer side, I have just kept 100. That's the only thing. So mid function from the function, then from the text value available in A5, my starting num, as you have seen, the hyphen is appearing at the fourth position. 4 plus 1, 5. So I want to extract from the fifth position. And to get that 4, I used a find function. So from fifth position, 100 characters. Of course, 100 is not available, just 4 only is there. Okay. I cannot hear why I did use 100 is in case here we have been lucky that all the employee ID, the numbers are all of length 4, as in the values just 4 characters. If they are not the same, maybe um, the number of characters that we have to extract is kind of varying. I don't have to worry about that. Just by putting 100, everything gets solved. So from the fifth position to how many ever till the end of the string, how many ever characters are there, it's just going to extract it. That's what that 100 is all about. Okay, 100 is a big number. Instead, you can just say 50 or 20. That's going to work equally good. Yeah. So see how the same extraction could be done either using a write and find or maybe a mid and find. Both the options are definitely possible. Okay. So moving on. Okay. What about the clean mail? Okay. Let's see how to, first of all, let's see the data. Okay, here I'm seeing few of them are in small, few of them are in capitals, right? So if I use my lower function, we have seen it just some time back. If I use my lower function, I can convert all of the letters to the lowercase. That's what is a clean email. So lower, my email is available in, yeah. Okay. So upper, lower, proper, that lower only function I've used. Okay, what about the name length? Okay, we now know what's the name. This is the cleaned name, not that earlier one, but this is the cleaned name wherein the doesn't matter about the lower or uppercase, at least the irrelevant spaces, that is your leading and trailing, have got removed. So I can directly go ahead and apply len. But what is that len? It's available in H5. Let's see. What is len? Len function is utilized to find out the length of the text string, as in it is just going to count the number of characters in the text string and going to give me the value. Now when it's going to calculate the, as in going to count the number of characters, the in between space is also going to be counted. So equal to len and H5. Sarah is of 5, space is 6, corner is 6, so 12. 5 plus 1 plus 6, 12. I'll show you the function arguments. Returns the number of characters in a text string. And text, as in the argument, it's the text whose length you want to find. And space count as characters. Now here you're saying space counts as characters. In other words, my space is being very much treated as a character. That's more to be more specific. Space is very much treated as a text character. Okay, I can just double click to get the length of each and every name. Okay, what more? Formatting dates. Okay, 1 second, let me go here and check. Yeah, left, right, mid, len we have seen, trim. Yeah, all good. These 4 you have seen. I've shown you find also, right? Let's see that. Find, I have shown you, replace few more, but then 2 more are there. Of course, I can show you the others also, but just let's see as of now what's even there here. Okay, text. Okay, even before going to text, I can try out something for a while, which is I have used find function to find out the position of the hyphen, right? I could okay, that kinds of hyphen. I could try out with some specific letter also. that's any character basically, I can find out the position using my find function. But find function is actually case sensitive, as in, one second. Now here, if to this particular one, I am to extract, maybe let's just say, um, okay, if I want to extract, or maybe say, suppose here you have in our name, na? So here, if I want to find out the position of S, or let's say position of R or C, I can do that. It need not always be the space. Even we can find out the position of space using find function. It is definitely possible. So let me show you. Find, you all know, but what is about search? Okay, I'll just go to find to show you what's the difference. In order to understand why would you use search in place of find, I'll tell you that. Now, say purposefully, I want to search capital S, where I will pick up the one which is all good, which is the clean one, H5. And starting num, I'm going to keep it as 1 only. So that last num, starting num, I'm going to leave it. So position, starting position is going to be my capital S only. As in the Sarah, S is going to start from S. Now, why does it return me a hash value error? Reason being, okay, here the reason is not very much intuitive enough for us, but then I told you find is case sensitive. Now, S is in small, but I have tried with capital S. If I change that capital to small now, the same function will give me an answer, proper answer, as in the position of S is 1. Now, find function is case sensitive. So while working, we may not have at all time by mistakes or some typo error may happen, which may lead to, like, instead of maybe the string has got a uppercase, but we are trying to find out a lowercase. If the cases are being provided differently, or if by mistake some typo errors are happening, my find function is going to return me an error, which you have seen hash value. But instead of that, if I use a search function also does the same job. Instead of, say here, even by default, if I go for a capital S within my H5, it will still give me starting number is again optional argument. I may omit that, and if you are omitting, the default value is 1. It will still give me the value, because I don't have to worry about the casing of the text value that we are trying to search in that original string. That's because that's because the search function is not case sensitive. That's the main reason. So in fact, if you ask me, a better alternative for a find function is a search function, which I don't have to worry about any typo error, whether you're searching with a small or a capital letters, it's going to give you the answer equally the same. Okay, so a better alternative for my find is definitely search. Okay, so that was your find and search. Done. Let me just color the ones which are already done for our case. All of this done. So just few more there. What about my, I'll come to these which are given there. These text and text joins are definitely there. What about replace and substitute? Okay. Now say suppose uh, I have to replace. See here, if you just see this raw phone here, many of them have got that parenthesis. A few of them have got that hyphen. Then you have got your dots, that's periods. All combinations are there, right? Now, if I really want to remove all of those parentheses or those periods and all. Find function, if I try each or maybe the each and every position, I need to see it. But then substitute is a really good way of utilizing or clearing up all of this. I'll show you that. It's in D5. Okay, or maybe I can just insert a column over here. That will really work for me. Okay, what is it that I want to get over here is something like this. Say, I'm just writing the first one for all of us. Okay, this is what I want to get. Okay. Or without that hyphen is also equally good. Both of them are fine. Let's say without the hyphen should be good also. Okay, but before that, we need to get rid of it, right? Get rid of that hyphens and all. Okay, let me go in for substitute function. See, replaces text, existing text with new text in a text string. I'll show you. Not to worry. Function argument dialog box. First is my text. That is this one, which is D5. In here, I want to get rid of my this, okay, with what? I want to substitute it with nothing. In fact, I just want to get it removed, so I'll just leave it as is. Instance num, as in how many ever instances of the old text is available in my original string. Each and every instance is going to get removed. Here instance num AC specifies which occurrence of the old text. Now old text here is a opening parenthesis. So which occurrence of opening parenthesis you want to replace. Now this is an optional argument. If you are going to omit that, every instance of the old text is replaced. So if I just pass this over here, did I miss out any? Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's say we are going to put it, say, like this, with nothing. Uh, yeah, we got it removed. Now on to this, I'm going to pass one more. Like here, if you see, the opening parentheses have got removed because this is the original text. From here, the old text is my opening parenthesis. From there, I have got this as in that just two opening and closing bracket as in nothing. I'm kind of removing that opening parenthesis, as simple as that. Okay, now to this, I am going to again use my substitute. This is my original text. From here, I want to get rid of that closing parenthesis with nothing. And then again, my each and every instance of the closing parenthesis is going to get removed. Okay, two more to go. If you ask me, one for hyphen and one for the period. So two more substitutes I'm going to use. Okay, here I'm going to use the hyphen and put it over here. Okay, maybe hyphen we can replace it with a space. Similarly, my dots also I can replace it with a space. all corrected. So just substitute function is working fine with us, and I am really able to substitute each and every instance of either my opening parenthesis or closing parenthesis or my hyphen or a dot as in period. I could substitute each one of them. Of course, the brackets opening and closing parenthesis, I just removed them, but the hyphen and the period, we just got it replaced with a space. Okay, this is your substitute function. Okay, what about, say, suppose I want to use a replace function, but then what could be the relevant question that I want to really address? Say, to this particular cleaned phone number, I want to just kind of say, first few characters or the last few characters, I want to mask it, right? Say we all in our bank accounts and all, when we get those email through email, we get our banking statements and all. Now we get to see that my only the last four numbers of our account number are even visible. Rest initial ones are all masked. So how to do that? Okay, very nice, very easily I can do. I'll use this replace function just to show you here. Replace. Okay, what am I going to do here? See, replace also the same job of our substitute. It's going to do replaces part of a text string with a different text string. Okay, but then here, okay, old text. What's my old text? Nothing but my this number, phone number. Okay, starting num. Maybe from the starting position, I want to substitute like this 3, 4, yeah, maybe 6, 6 and 2, 8. 8 of them with a masking character, or maybe even more easier as of now, just to make you all understand with an easy example. Last 4 characters I'm going to mask it. So my starting num is actually going to be, maybe I'll use my find function. Okay, find what? Space within text my E5. But then when I do this, my starting num, if I leave it as empty, I don't mention it, it's going to start the search from the first letter. So, and it will return the first occurrence. That is, it's going to return me 4. If I do this, you can see here it's going to return me 4. But I want the second occurrence. What will I do? I would have to start the search from the next position of the first occurrence. First occurrence is 4. So I would have to start the search from 5th position. So if I put the starting num as 5, you will get the position of the second occurrence as 8. So if you want to get the first occurrence means you can leave that starting num as empty. If you want the second occurrence means you have to do the starting num of the first occurrence plus 1. That's going to give you the second occurrence. That's what I've got here as 8. I say okay. Yeah, we are not done. Our replace is still left out. So in my old text, my starting position is 8. How many characters do I want to really replace? I want to replace 4 characters. I know that here. So I'll just substitute 4 over here. And what is that new text? Okay, I have to actually mention all 4 like this. I guess something needs to be done. Okay, it's set 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I did that 8, right? So I should have done not from 8, it should be plus 1. So from 9th position, 4 characters are going to be masked. Because when I started from 8, That space also it has considered space, then 0, 1, 9. Only those four were done. The last digit is still shown up to me. So in order to mask that, it's better that I leave the space and then hop into the next, which is the ninth position. From the ninth position, four characters are now masked, or in four numbers are masked. This is how I can use a replace function. Okay. So that's your substitute and replace. Just three more functions. Let's go on to it. Let's get that to it. Okay, format date. Basically, we are going to see the text function. Now, text function is basically for formatting. How? I'll just show you with a one I'll show you. Now we have our join. I'll see what's the reference for my join date or the hire date. Join date is H5. Okay. Now equal to text. See, converts a value to text in a specified format. Okay, my value is H5. Okay, I'll open the dialog box for us for easier options. Okay, I'm going to put here, that's the date. My format text is going to be $3M. 3M is for the first three letters of my month name. Or if I put 4M, the full month name is going to appear. Hyphen, or let me just give a space. 2D is to return the day number. Then hyphen 4Y, as in not 2020, say we are in 2026. I don't want the 26 alone, but I want the century also, as in 20 also. 2026, I need to give 4Y. And this is to be mentioned within my double quotes. I do that. So if you see there, my date is this. Or let me do one thing for you all. I'll copy that. This, see. So it's your January 15, 2022. Maybe you don't want this hyphen also. I can get rid of that. Hyphen looks good. I could keep that, or I could even remove. Not an issue. Both are fine. If I want to show that entire one, I have to just go in like here. Or one more option, last option I can think of is maybe instead of 4M, I'll keep the 3, but instead of a hyphen, I can have a comma. This looks even more better. So formatting a date is one of the option, one of the example. There is one more. I'll come across that. Now say suppose of course we don't have that value. If we are given the salary of the person, okay. Now I'm just putting some random values, okay. Say maybe just to make things all good, I'll do one thing. A number is not a big deal over here. What's the one? We'll just do some changes like here. Say my step value is going to be 1000. Okay, that's a small change I'm doing. Okay, now if I have to format this, show up in thousands with a thousand separator and with decimal values and all, if I want to put it, how could I format it? Using the same text function, I could do the formatting. That's my value. How am I going to format? Open the parenthesis, first a dollar symbol, or it could be any currency that you want to incorporate. Hash, that's for the thousand separator. Okay, this is your thousand. Like this is your thousands place, 100, tens and ones, then dot, two zeros, For 2 decimals, if it's 10 means 1 decimal position. And you close your parenthesis, job done. I could do this also. So basically, I could use my text function to format. Maybe could your 2 examples I've shown you. One is formatting your dates, and there is your formatting your currencies as in your numbers. Here I took the example of salary. So that's your text function done. Okay, what about text join and concat? Okay, concat, I can try over here. Format text is already done. What about concat? Okay, I could try something over here like we have the concat function. See, just mere joining the text strings. That's what the concat is all about. Say, for example, okay, I'll concat this. That's my department code and that employee one. Okay, that's the first one. Second one is this. And I just say, okay, maybe in between, instead of just a mere one, I could do this. Yeah. This is how it's going to appear. My HR and that employee ID. Of course, we could concatenate more, okay, more text strings into one. I can try that. There is another way of doing it with the text join also. I can show you. Text join does have an option for specific argument for providing a delimiter, and even if there are any empty spaces, how to ignore them and so on. Let's see them. Text join. See here. Concatenate a list or a range of text string using a delimiter. You can specifically say that. Okay, my delimiter over here, I'll put it as okay. Leave empty. You want to put it as true or false. I'll say true. And what is the text 1, text 2, and so on. I can go ahead. How am I going to do? I have an idea in mind. First is this, and then my name, or maybe I'll go ahead with the name, I guess. Name or, okay, I'll go with the department, and then with my name maybe, or just one more to go. Then my email ID. I'm just using the cleaned data only to do all these text joins. This is what is my final data that I'm seeing, and you can see it has introduced that line or a pipe that over for it has used that as the delimiter between each and every text value. It has done that. Okay, I could use that. Now, one more, if you are thinking, okay, I had something, okay, this is your text join. Yes, but the same, okay, I'm not saying same thing. The text function that we just saw now, which was a text function sometime back, I just showed you. Just a moment. Yeah, this text function, which we have seen, I did show you for your dates also, right? Yeah, I could do a small thing over here just to have a nice formatted text over here is just I'm just incorporating a text joined on, and yeah, and just use a and symbol to concatenate two strings. This is one and this is another one. If I do this, so instead of just seeing that mere January, the formatted date part, I am incorporating one more text value, which is kind of a static one, joined on, just to have a nice formatting, customized formatting to that whole data. So I could do this also. Okay, so text join and concatenate, both of them are concatenate. We just have to include the delimiter or the separator as a text value in one of the text strings if I want to have. But text join has a separate. In fact, if you ask me, text join is a better alternative of concat, because it does give me it gives me two specific arguments. First, specifically to mention our delimiter, and second, if there had been any empty cells, if I want to ignore it, I want to consider it, you will be you do have an option of giving the input as a boolean, as a true or false. So say for example, just for one something, an idea popping up, to just see how it works. If at all, for any of the mail ID, say suppose it's not there, it won't show me up because I had given here as true. It's going to ignore that empty value. Okay. Now, in case if I do one more thing, say I don't have that that department is not there, that's also not going to be an issue. Because still again, if there's an empty value, I provide the option as true. So it is going to ignore that. If it had been false, it will be included. See, I can see that empty space between the two pipes. I can see it. But if it had been true, I won't see that empty pipe. That is the difference. That's just going to get ignored. That's the reason I told you my text join is a better alternative for my concat. Okay. Yeah, so that's it for today's module. We are completed with the text functions. Hope you got a nice idea about how to clean the data that we are even provided with. So enjoy Excel. Thank you. I'll meet you all the next module of Excel. Thank you. Have a good day.